Hi guys, Hari here, just doing another video. I know it's been a little while. I was really trying my best to try to record a good game to cast for you guys. Unfortunately, that's not really ever how it works out. Basically every game always ends up one-sided for one reason or another at this level of play, at least in my personal experience, at least 90% of the time. So, yeah. I also broke my hand, but that's not really too relevant. I've recorded maybe 20 games. None of them really ended up being that interesting. Usually one-sided, either we dominate or someone on our team just makes a bunch of mistakes. So eventually I just settled on one of them that I've done, the most recent being this one, which happened today. As you can see by the length, it's pretty one-sided, but it features a new hero, so I figured that was at least kind of interesting. And just because I hadn't done anything in a while, I figured putting this out there was worth it, so I would do that and continue to try to get a high-level game once the opportunity arises. So anyway, here we go. We can see based on the heroes we have, Gray is very insistent on going Thunderbringer mid, which is fine because Thunderbringer mid's quite strong. I have Myrmidon, which I really like to play. I've played him like 3 times so far. I've been a huge fan of him every time. All of his abilities are very strong. And it just seems like he basically has unlimited mana to spam his abilities. So then, Pink has Moon Queen or Malakin or Ophelia, so he doesn't really have a good range support here, so ideally we would like Brown to take Voodoo Jester, so that Pink can go with Malakin rather than Brown taking Predator, just because having another carry certainly wouldn't hurt, or having a carry wouldn't hurt, but the option that has Brown taking Voodoo Jester just gives us a better lanes, a better support, but Brown doesn't really listen, so instead Brown sticks with Predator, so Pink just goes Moon Queen, which I guess is fine. Really, Ophelia would have been alright, because we could have had Myrmidon or Slither solo, but this works out. So we'll have Slither and Predator go to the top lane, because Slither's probably our best babysitter, at least in my opinion, and then I, playing Myrmidon, will go bottom with Moon Queen. So Myrmidon's kind of like a semi-carry-ish int hero, but he can also be a roamer. I mean, he just basically has an incredibly wide range of applications that he can be applied to. But here, because I'm probably the second least item-dependent hero on the team, well, Thunderbringer's not really extremely item-dependent either, but he's going mid, so we want him to have everything he can since he's soloing a lane, so I'm going to buy wards. Again, just important to get wards when possible. Just kind of discussing the lane setups here. I really do think that Moon Queen and Myrmidon is better than, I don't know, the other possible setups. Basically, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Also, I'll be a little bit honest, I really think it would have been optimal for our team to have Brown as Voodoo Jester, and therefore I think the fact that he didn't go Voodoo Jester was a little selfish, so it's entirely possible that I'm dodging laning with him and forcing my buddy to instead, because I'm a terrible person. So anyway, that's it. As you notice, I still haven't gotten an ability yet. If we do run into them anywhere here at the river, I would definitely like to have Kelp Field, and I will get it right away. If not, I actually prefer to have Magic Carp first. You see we get a haste, so I actually want Moon Queen to grab it, but she insists that I do, so I'm just going to grab it and run up here. If I see anyone, I'll probably get Kelp Field right away and try to do what I can. However, no one really shows up. I remember that I gotta place a ward, so I run back to do that. Warding the creep pull before 30 seconds do, so no problem, and then just basically head to lane. So I get Magic Carp now. I just like it a little bit more for harassing in lane. It does a good amount of damage. It's just easy to use for harassment, because kind of like, you know, when you attack someone and they attack back, and then you kind of both move away. Well, this way you can throw Magic Carp and attack, and now they can't move away. So they get one hit in, you get one hit in the Carp, and then you probably get another hit in as well. So it's also a little bit lower mana cost. It's just a convenient spell to have for harassing. If I plan on roaming, or if we had a lane that could set up kills at level 1, then I would probably get Kelp. But we don't really have, I mean, that strong of a level 1 kill lane, especially against Double Stun, Witch Slayer, Panda. So not really going to go for anything that early, and therefore getting Carp level 1 seems fine. But Carp or Kelp, or Weed Field, sorry. Yeah, Kelp is Bubbles, sorry. Weed Field, both of those are fine level 1. So, you'll see that I'm not really trying to take creep score here. Every once in a while I might get greedy and go for one. See, you'll see there, I do exactly what I was talking about, which is where we both run up to harass each other, so I throw a carp while I run up to harass, and it lets me get extra attacks in addition to the carp damage, which is certainly not bad, and no reason not to do it since I have full mana. Yeah, so you see, occasionally I get greedy and try to take a creep kill, like there where I screwed up. But basically, in this lane, I'm still kind of support, even though, like I said, it's a semi-carry-ish hero. Moon Queen is definitely a much harder carry than I am, so I'd rather her get the farm. So I'm just going to do all the harassing I can. This panda comes up way too far, and so yeah, now I'm going to try to set up a kelp field. However, the Witch Slayer actually continues to run right instead of left there, which doesn't make much sense, because yeah, it's going to lead to him dying, just like that. I had assumed that he would run left, which is why I threw the kelp field where I did, because running left would be the path in which he would be able to get free. I guess you could say he juked me, but it wasn't really a good juke, because by running in the direction he did, he was just going to die. So technically I missed, but in theory I was probably on target. Yeah, so having a little trouble finding the item I wanted here. I think I might have been contemplating just getting boots, but I've decided I'll go for a chalice first. I don't know, chalice seems fine, just a way to get a little extra mana if I want it. And we're playing pretty aggressive in this lane, so I feel like I'll be able to use mana more often than I will use health. So that seems, yeah, rather ideal. And so there I send myself the items, just getting a circlet as well, just a few more stat items. Again, I'm not really going to be building to anything too impressive here because I'm playing a support and I'll be warding, etc. So it kind of seems greedy to try to start building something. So just picking up basic stat items seems fine. Yeah, so we're back to laning now. Really, they have a pretty strong lane against us. I mean, like, our lane doesn't have a ton of synergy, we've just got nukes. We don't really have anything that can set up Weed Field, specifically. Moon Queen's stun kind of can, but not really, but Carp basically sets it up pretty well anyway. So they should have a difficult time playing aggressive against us, just because we can spam a lot of damage. We see Panda run in here, actually, which should put him out of position, although he's actually kind of tanky, so it's kind of hard to, even if he is out of position, go on him instead of the Witch Slayer. So I'm just going to do the harassment that I can. Again, playing pretty far forward. You'll notice we're playing all the way up with the creep wave. Part of this just comes from having taken first blood. Naturally, they're going to play a little more defensive than we are. So, yeah, seems fine at this point. Yeah, Zeus is doing alright, or Thunderbringer doing alright mid. Yeah, that's basically all there is to it. Just going to keep laning until we get another opportunity to go on someone. Right there, we definitely should have. I should have thrown out my carp. That was completely my fault. I honestly just didn't really, wasn't expecting Panda to run up that far, at half health. So I was just kind of caught off guard by the audacity of his play there. So still going to be trying to set up something here. Finally able to land the carp on Panda, and so we're able to go on him, which gets a really good stun, unfortunately, or fortunately for them. And so I'm just going to harass Witch Slayer as much as possible as we retreat. Yeah, so that was, I guess you could say, pretty good on the Witch Slayer's part, and kind of poor on our part for lining up for an easy stun from the Witch Slayer. But then the Witch Slayer comes up again, and yeah, now we're going to get an easy kill on him. This is basically just my abilities being really strong. He can't really run at the tower now because we have the carp. There we go. Yeah, so basically, my strategy here in the lane has just been anytime some of them comes up, I use the carp to kind of initiate going on one of them, because now they can't really run from us. They kind of have to stand and take it, although they kind of do end up running anyway, which I don't think is necessarily more optimal. And then that sets us up for more nukes from Moon Queen and then my Weed Field. You'll notice that the build I went was maxing Weed Field over carp. I think this is fine. I think some people might get one level of his dash ability, whatever it's called, instead of the second level of carp, but we're being pretty aggressive here. The dash ability would be maybe reasonable if you were soloing a lane or somewhere that you needed an escape, but yeah, not here where we're really kind of, yeah, in the dominant position in this situation, so we're just going to continue to apply pressure, and since we're applying pressure, Carp, another level of carp, additional stun, more damage, seems better.